Hi, my name's Craig from Dyno Talk, and this is my Evo V8 project.
What have you been up to then?
Not that much, but
Some.
everything seems to be taking quite a lot of time at the moment. Exhaust has been one of the fabrication things we've been doing.
Did you have some of that in on the last video? I can't remember. We looked at it, didn't we? We looked at the boxes and stuff.
Basically that's done. I haven't done the out bit yet because I'm not actually sure where I'm going to go with it.
Do you need the body down for that?
Not really. I need to decide what I'm doing with the fuel tank. I've had an offer of some parts and there's a fuel tank in with it. But I don't know what's happening with that, so I can't get hold of the guy. So we'll find out about that later. If not, I have a good standard fuel tank. But there's not a lot of space where it goes in the back. There's not a lot of space to run 2 pipes past it. And there's also not a lot of space through there at all. So I might tip them out in front of the back wheels.
Isn't that what you called bodging?
It's not in front of no, because it's not in front of the front wheels.
Is that the rule? Is it not in front of the front wheels? Then it's okay. Not out the bonnet.
I'd like it out of the back, but I'm not. You know, if it won't fit, then I mean, the original pipe's about 2 inch. It's tiny, and this is twin 3 inch, and that's quite a lot more to get through.
Yeah. Okay.
But we've done to there. That's a big Xbox built into the silencer,
which has been flattened to.
I've just clearanced it to clear the prop because I wanted it tucked up. So
that's how that is.
You won't see that one.
Don't you look at that, right?
Don't worry about that. I've made these V-bandings, so if it's way too quiet, I can always put a straight pipe in there. I was going to put noise valves and everything on it, then I just couldn't be bothered.
It adds time and money and complexity and everything, doesn't it?
You know, like the Aston, I made it quiet and I like it quiet, and the chances of actually wanting to make it open is just not worth the effort.
Not our age.
So. Yeah, exhaust done. A few little bits and bobs. Props have gone off to Dave Max to be done.
Yeah.
And the main bit of news is...
this big boy.
We have a Whipple, not Magnuson, because they didn't get back to me messages or nothing. Rubbish company to deal with. So, I spoke to Aaron at Zero In Racing in... oh, I don't know where they are.
America.
In America.
Yeah.
Who basically really easy to deal with, really helpful. And it's here.
It's right there.
It took a little while to get here because Whipple had to make the kit.
So what is this then? What size is it?
It's a Whip 3100, so 3100 cc blower. The one on the Aston's 1.7 litre, but they spin it much faster. These obviously spin slower, so it's not as massive as it sounds.
It's not twice the...
no.
Nearly twice.
But I've ordered a small pulley for it. And you know, we're going to run it a bit harder. So
I think you're going to need the small pulley to get it under the bonnet, to be honest. But we did put it on, didn't we, the other night? And then we're like, oh.
There was some dimension drawings, so we checked and sort of like I had a measure around. Thought, yeah, it'll be fine. And we put it on. It's like, oh, that's really quite high.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really want to drive around looking like Mad Max, do you?
No, but we have done some.
There has been a measurement and it looks like it'll just about go.
It should go in by about ½ an inch, something like that, so that's fine. As long as it clears, it clears. I mean, the kit is, when you buy a lot of this stuff, sometimes it comes really nice, sometimes it's just
I mean, we're sort of used to in England that you buy something and you sort of have to adapt it. You know, it's very rarely a bolt-on
But this is... I mean, the box that come with it. I mean, I wasn't really.
This is the spare parts box, isn't it? This isn't the box, the actual thing.
No. This is the other box that UPS lost, but we found it.
It was FedEx.
FedEx, sorry.
Yeah. but they found it.
I mean, there's things like there's a K&N, there's all the pipe work. There's the auxiliary pumps, all the PWM control. Like,
does it have a computer with it or something?
It links into the original one, I believe, but it has got a pump controller.
Is that what that wire? No, I'm just wondering what that wiring is.
That's for the PWM pump on the thing. I haven't actually looked fully yet, but we'll probably run that off our ECU anyway.
You get a nice little tank.
I mean, I wasn't even expecting a tank at all.
A nice save you a job, hasn't it?
The pump mounts and that, and all the pipe work comes with it. There's a charge cooler radiator. Again, I nearly bought one the other day, but it comes with it. All the pipe work.
Is that pipe terminated? Is it, or do you put ends on it, or
some of it's bent in, like for the pump to the tank.
Because I'm presuming this is a kit for a Camaro, Corvette, something.
Escalade.
Escalade, is
it?
Right, okay. That's why it's so tall, isn't it?
Yeah. intake.
Whipple.
Yeah, and there's even somewhere.
You even get plugs?
Yeah, spark plugs, like everything.
You're not going to put those in, are you?
Well, I might do.
Iridium?
I normally put just copper core ones in because they're fine. Nice little pump. You know, it really is. There's even a number plate SRAM with Whipple supercharger on.
Perfect.
So
that'll fit right in on this thing.
You know, I bought this on a bit of a... Well, I was going to go turbo, Z-Max. I went round in circles, and this seemed to be the right kit.
They answered the questions, they delivered the part.
They answered the phone.
Yeah.
You know, really good to deal with.
What more can you ask for? Yeah. You know, as long as it works, and it looks like it's going to work.
So we've also had it all apart, because it comes partially up, and added these.
Oh yeah, this is a Craig Taylor special modification. Yeah,
this engine's direct injection, so I've got LT injectors coming from LT4 injectors, LT4 pump, which it's difficult to know actually what it will take it up to. With the high ratio, the cam's got a extra lift on the low.
We never explained what this is. This is an extra, or two extra.
Yeah, so
this is standard LS7 fuel rails.
So basically you've got your direct injection there, which in theory will take it up to about 700, 750 horse.
Right.
I believe. I'm not entirely, I don't really know. So...
And I presume it's not as simple as you buy a upgraded aftermarket injector.
There are bigger injectors and pumps now, a lot of money.
Right, okay.
Like a lot of money.
So
like,
this is how
thousands
this is how you've decided to do it.
So the boss is there on the lower plenum.
But they're undrilled, aren't they?
They're undrilled.
Solid, yeah.
So I bought some radium fuel rails. Yeah. Really nice stuff, like really nice. And then we've had all this part, put this in the miller. I have taken a video on my phone.
Well,
so
we can give Phil that.
Don't shout to me about the quality, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Right then. So we have the bottom half of the Whipple supercharger base thing, which comes with these bosses here for port injection, but they don't come drilled, unfortunately. So we've spent quite a bit of time setting up on the good old Bridgeport, working out all the angles, because it's angled like that way and that way, like the X and the Y. And we now have an injector drill, like so, which when does, you can see it very well in here, it basically puts an injector boss into the port, which means, can you see into the bottom there? Which basically means I can run port injection as well as the direct injection for extra fuel. And what we'll probably do is actually use a bit of fuel in some cases, like probably most times we start the car or run the car to try and keep the inlet valves clean, because with port injection you get fuel sprayed onto the inlet valve, and it actually it helps keep the ports and the inlet valves clean, because even though this engine had done like 18,000 miles, the inlet ports were a mess. So when you get the port injection, you're spraying fuel, it actually helps clean the inlet ports and doesn't block them up. So not just for adding fuel for power, we're going to use it as a bit of a cleaning setup as well. So all set up, last one to drill into there. Unfortunately, my DRO was broke on the machine halfway through, which was not ideal, but we got there. So, bit lube, and sorry about trying to film and do it one-handed. I would normally countersink and do all these, but without the DRO, it's a nightmare to measure everything twice and that, so we're going straight in. It's drilling really nicely actually. Down into the boss. So hopefully we're going to run LS7 injectors as an auxiliary, so you can see that's the port there, so the injector sits in. We've got to sit it right down in because it hits the supercharger, and that sits there like that. So I'll get it all cleaned down, and hopefully I've done them all at the right angle, because this boss here is at about 14 degrees, whereas the LS7 injector rails I've got are at 4.5 degrees, so it's not actually, this angle is different to this angle, so we've had to work out how to get all the angles right and do it, but after lots of measuring, we're done. Right, so we're over to the welding bench where we have the fuel rails in place, fuel injectors in mocked up, and basically we've turned up some bosses that we're going to weld. I've tack welded them already. We're going to weld them into the manifold so that when we put the fuel rail in, it actually just bolts down. So it's a proper mounting rather than trying to have little adapter plates onto the mounting for the case and stuff here. So this has took a long time now just to do port injection, which I don't even know if I need. But there'll be a lot more work to do afterwards, so we're going to carry on and do it. So what we need to do now is get the clamps off and fuel rail out and weld around all these. Hopefully not warp anything because it's going to get hot, but it should be okay. Need to crack the old weld up a little bit high, and away we go. Yeah. So I've basically drilled them out to take LS7 injectors, right. LS7 fuel rail, and put it just goes under here. I mean,
it's very close, isn't it? But it is done.
Yeah. So but what that gives us the ability to do is on boost we're going to run 2 fuel pumps. This will be a completely separate circuit.
And are you going to run 2 ECUs like on the Aston? Is
yes.
that what I'm thinking? Yeah.
We're going to run this on the original E92 GM ECU.
Right.
And then I'm going to run an Emerald as a piggyback. So we can do throttle control.
Yeah.
Basically, we'll use whatever pedal I want to put in it, and then the Emerald will give the GM ECU the pedal voltages it needs, and then we can basically map in the ECU. We can map the output, so we can have a mappable pedal. Yeah. Because sometimes they're very sharp.
You use it for CAN bus as well, don't you?
Yeah. So we'll also.
Although not that 1998 Shogun has much CAN bus, but
we'll be putting a Haltech dash in it, which is a CAN bus dash, so all the information can go over CAN bus. And also what we can do with this, because we can bring these in on boost to add extra fuel at the top end, they can also come in at other times as well to keep the port clean.
Is that for your crackle map? Yeah. Fully on overrun, yeah.
Boost control.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I mean, although this engine it's only done 18,000 miles, it's immaculate inside. The inlet ports were properly caked up.
Really?
Because there's no fuel going over the.
So they never get washed.
They don't get.
What do they like a diesel, like carbon? Is it or what's?
Yeah, it's just like horrible carbon because they plums the fumes back into it.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of modern cars now with direct injection. The ports just get to the point where they just block up.
Right.
So
and you have to chisel it out, do you?
The ability, they do like walnut blasting and all sorts, but they. It's quite a problem. So with port injection, like they do on the new LT5, the latest Corvette one, they run port injection as well. And because you can add fuel there, you can actually keep the port clean.
Okay, so this is a done thing now, is it, on the big power?
Yeah, the
GM
LT5,
cars?
like the new, that has because they can't get enough fuel in quickly enough on the direct injection. They put.
And I suppose at that point, the ports, the valves are all open enough to just squirt. It doesn't matter so much, does it, at the timing of the thing?
It doesn't. I mean, that's a RPM. It's not timed anyway, but it's not important. And these are like LS7 injectors, so it's all standard.
You've probably got those lying around, haven't you?
I did have some spare,
yeah.
But these working out this angle, because that angle of the boss is different to the LS7 angle.
And I presume that angle affects the spray pattern.
And it's So took a bit of setting up actually, but
it's done.
They're fit. They work. So
they're in.
If you come around this side. See, this side's all done as well.
Nice. I mean, it's a bit easier on this side because you haven't got the
the
jack
drive.
shaft.
I mean, luckily the injectors are really short, so I didn't think it was going to fit initially, but it does.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it's not bolted on properly yet. I'm waiting for the high pressure pump to come so that I can put all this on finally.
Yeah. It seems to be a bit of a spaghetti omen.
Yeah. So this is next step, which is this wire here. Basically, start pulling the wiring apart. This is the motor here that controls the 4-wheel drive.
Right.
So this is computer controlled.
So is the Emerald going to control this, or does the factory stuff do it?
The factory ones, it's on the PCM, which is in the car. It's not off the engine.
Right.
ECU.
Okay. So the Emerald will have to take over.
I believe there are some guys in America making this work with the rotary switch and that, but this motor needs to see, so you can go 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive. I think 4-wheel drive low as well. I think it's got low ratio, and you can go auto. So the plan is to run it probably 99% of the time in 2-wheel drive, like these are anyway. They don't really run in 4-wheel drive hardly ever. And then we're going to use either the ABS sensors or put speed sensors on the prop. So what the ECU can do, it can control it. It can measure the rotation. And if it starts spinning the wheel, basically what it does,
it can check a difference.
It can wind that motor in. And wind it in until it stops wheel spinning, and then as it stops wheel spinning, it can wind it back out, and then we can map that on the Emerald. We can actually control the load and how it winds in, and have traction control, because it's going to be difficult to actually control.
I mean, just thinking about inputs, but without the Emerald actually running the engine, so you don't have to wire in all those sensors. You've got a lot of inputs on it, haven't you?
Well, I mean, it'll run traction control anyway. So
but cameras, I'm just thinking, you can run tons of things that you wouldn't be able to run if it was also running the engine.
I mean, this ECU will run the fans and that, but I'll probably run the fans off the Emerald because it's really easily to adjust.
Yeah, you know exactly what to do.
We can run the fuel pumps, we can run the diff control. Basically, we've got good control over it then. The supercharger comes with the map sensor and everything, so that should all be the ECU should sort of run happily on the GM.
We were saying, this was a nice touch. It's water in and out in one.
Yeah, it's all neatly at the back. I mean, it is a really, really neat kit. It was one of them. I was so fed up waiting. Just
waiting for a response.
Well, just an answer. Yeah.
Just a yes or no.
I wasn't, trying to get something for nothing. Just say, can you, do you even do the right kit? Does it work? Does it fit? And it was like pulling teeth. So. And then, of course, I bought the turbos back, and then once I got them and started looking, I thought, it's not really what I want. So I'm really happy now with this. I mean, it should be instant punch, which is, I think this car will be good.
Yeah.
And you drive the Aston and stuff like that, and I've just recently done an RX-7 with an LT4 with a 10-speed auto, and it's bonkers. That car with traction will be phenomenal.
So what's the next step then?
Next step, the prop should be back
this week, maybe next week, hopefully.
Probably this week. I think really wiring. I mean, I could drop the body down now and actually start doing it, but there's no real point in doing that. It just makes working on this a pain. So the next step really is to, I think, do the wiring. So if we can get all the wiring in place, decide where we're going to put the ECUs. Speak to Carl at Emerald. I'm sure he'll be loving this phone call and saying we've got a few little, like all this needs working out somehow. My friend Stu's found a lot of diagnostic data for this control, and luckily these wires do come back
all the way to this plug.
All the way to the plug. They don't go into that's car ECU, fuse box, and I think these are.
It's nice that you got all that uncut. To be fair.
Yeah, no.
You wouldn't go there in special English scrapyard, would you? In the old.
And all the back, I mean, I've done the starter motor, main power, all the main powers, and that all come through, all uncut, and it's nice. I've been able to reuse some of that.
Nice.
So.
Well, there you go then. That's where we are then. See you in a couple of weeks on this, I guess, and we'll see how far you get.
Yeah, I mean, I might even. I'm contemplating getting it running like this.
For a little trip around the yard.
Well, yeah, just kick the steer. We'll get Margaret steer.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. It just depends on time and and how we we get on.
Christmas Day, we'll have a little lap of the yard on the...
Yeah, but I mean, Christmas is coming up now, so hopefully I'm going to get a few days in. It gets a little bit quieter then, and stuff like doing this wiring that you really need to do without 20 people around asking questions.
Without me coming around asking for just.
Yeah, you need to. It's like last Christmas when I did the Aston, it was good. We just sat in here for like a day and hardly seen anybody. And I just told everybody I was shut.
Yeah.
And,
lock the door.
Yeah, in that way you can get so much more done, because picking through wiring takes a long time. I mean, there are people that like Speartech do a loom for these. The RX-7 had one, and it was just plug and play. But it's a lot of money, you know. It was like thousands of dollars. So, because I've
that's
got the
quite
loom,
a few days' work.
and I've still got to wire it into the car, and I've still got to integrate the emerald into it. So, I'm going to try and use what I've got. I mean, we've done it before, so hopefully we can make it work.
Right, sweet. Well, thanks for watching then. You can finish
next time.
Yeah, you finish this. Look happy and finish the video.
Yeah, people say buy merch. This stuff isn't for sale, by the way. It's just stuff we have. So
don't buy merch.
No, you can buy merch from Driftworks, but there's none for mine, unfortunately.
Keep Starkey fed and watered.
Yeah.
Mainly fed.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in a couple of weeks on this.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks. Bye.
At Driftworks, we've helped over 50,000 happy customers since 2004. Our huge online parts store is simple to use, with superb shipping rates to anywhere in the world, and finance options available for UK customers. We live and breathe wheel fitment, so if you have any questions about your own car or any of our products before placing an order, please drop us an email at shop@driftworks.com or give us a call. Thanks for watching.